But it's entirely possible. But right now, Lopez is dominating. He is really going to town on Ayala. I don't know how much more of this kind of punishment he can take. He is definitely, look at that. That is a battering ram that's hitting Ayala right now. Ayala must do some fighting to try to keep him off. He must throw something. He's not throwing anything, he's just receiving. Now he's going back to the attack a little bit.
And he continues to bleed, Ayala does, from the nose, but he continues to punch. And there's a lot of blood that's splattered over the arms and the shoulders and the back of the champion, Danny Lopez, all coming from the nose of the challenger, who continues to stick his nose right into the gloves of Danny Lopez. 1 minute to go. We are in round 12. And it is scheduled for 15, and of course it is for the featherweight championship of the world.
Oh, devastating punishment by Lopez. Lopez is really getting off. I don't know how much Ayala can take of this, but nobody can take the kind of punishment that Lopez is dishing out. And he's fighting back, though. Just when you think that you can write off the kid, he comes fighting back.
Less than 30 seconds in round 12. That's the challenger on the left and the champion on the right. In fact, there's the first time Padilla, I think, had to touch these fighters. Gave a little pat on the back and said, let's go to it, and that was totally unnecessary.
Yes, it was. Redundant. He looks like he's going to make it to the end of the round as we come up to 10 seconds.
Another great round in this featherweight title fight from San Antonio, Texas. Well, amid the controversy as we look at Lopez's wife at ringside and him in the corner, let's look at that controversial round 11 and see if we can at least tell you exactly what happened here now that we've been able to clear it up a little bit. There's the punch. Looked like a short left hook. And you'll see Padilla sending Lopez to a neutral corner. There he is in the neutral corner, and then he is supposed to pick up the count. He's picking it up from the timekeeper here. And what he apparently did when he called him out there, and Lopez's people thought the fight was over, Ferdy, was that he probably picked up the wrong count. He did, in fact, pick up the wrong count from the timekeeper. The timekeeper might have said 5, and he was going 7, 8, 9, and it ended up being a short count.
I think that's a good assumption based on what you saw just now. What you're looking at right now is Padilla leaning in, talking to the timekeeper. The timekeeper saying, wait a minute, that wasn't 10. The kid was on his feet, and they now an embarrassing position of restarting the fight. Now, the question remains is why didn't they play out the rest of the round?
Perhaps what happened, Ferdy, is that the timekeeper and the referee were so confused that maybe they lost track that there was a minute left in the round. Okay, we move into round 13. It's scheduled still for 15. And this fight has had a little bit of everything. Not only the punching power and the action, the exciting action between Mike Ayala on the right and Lopez now on the ropes, the champion, but just about everything that's happened in any fight has happened in this fight.
And Ayala, whom I keep calling the kid because he looks so young, it's just been an absolute example of grit and determination and courage. But right now he looks like a guy that's in a shack under an overhanging avalanche waiting for the mountain to fall on him, which is what's going to happen to him if he keeps fighting this way. He just doesn't have the tools to keep as great a champion as Lopez off of him. And it's impossible to stop fighting, so he continues to fight as hard as he can, hoping for a knockout.
Well, I think, judging from our unofficial cards, that perhaps the champion has a slight edge here, but it is close, and anything can still happen. 2 knockdowns in the fight, in the 7th, and as you saw, the controversial one in the 11th round. Both fighters still in good shape. Ayala still continuing to bleed from the nose as he has for about the last 5 or 6 rounds, but continuing to flare away and fight back against the champion, Danny Lopez. But as you said, Purdy, the question is, he's been down twice. If the nose is hurt, if the nose is broken, and that's what's been causing the blood, is it going to take one other good shot? Is he going to go down, and is he going to stay down? Is the referee, Carlos Padilla, going to say he's had enough? But at this point, he can't say that, because as much as punishment as Ayala, the challenger, takes, he continues to fight back. And as long as you can defend yourself and you can fight back, the fight will go on.
As long as he has a chance to land a haymaker and a lucky punch, the fight has to continue. But I must say that Lopez has really stepped up the pace in the last 3 or 4 rounds.
Less than a minute to go now in round 13. This is for the WBC Featherweight Championship of the World, and still the outcome can go either way. To the champion, Danny Lopez, on the left of your screen, to the mighty challenger from San Antonio, Mike Ayala, in the yellow trunks. Now on the left, forcing Lopez back into the neutral corner where he has spent most of the previous 12-13 rounds. Tremendous right there, fighting back by the challenger. Determination, 200% plus.
He just won't be beaten. He just will not quit. No matter what kind of punishment he takes, he's always got an extra charge to come back. And it's that kind of guts and determination that's making this a great fight.
Okay, the countdown goes on. You see it. 14, 13, 12 seconds. Round 13 about to come to an end. It's been exciting. It's been like this all the way. The challenger on the ropes, the champion pressing on. Ayala on his feet, the challenger is round 14. The bell sounds, and here we go. Still scheduled for 15. It's for the WBC Featherweight Championship of the World. Will it go the distance? Ayala, the challenger, has been down in round 7. Again in round 11.
I think the question now becomes, can Ayala survive this machine? Can he survive, and can he land that one punch that'll get him into the absolute glory land of the championship? He's not going to quit until he gets a final answer, and we go back to the action.
I tell you, look, Ferdy, at the champion as he pounds away here now, and the challenger trying to slip punches as he's... Oh, and he's down again. And up quickly. Was that a slip?
Yes, that was a slip. That was not a punch there. I noticed Padilla didn't look at the timekeeper that time.
We're in round 14.
I think the timekeeper is out trying to slash his wrist.
We look at the champion, and Lopez has been a great champion. His record speaks for itself. But he's expressionless. He just he doesn't look like he looks as fresh as he did when he started this fight.
The discouraging thing is the piston-like way that he can let those hands come out. Now, we have seen a lot of fighting right now, and yet he is still punching with the same authority that he had in the first round. That is really disconcerting. It's just almost impossible to think that he can punch with that kind of sharpness and freshness in this late round.
Most of the opponents, the challengers to his featherweight championship of Lopez, they've gone down under this punishment. I'm sure he has by now certainly tremendous respect for this young challenger who's only been in 23 bouts but with a very outstanding amateur career. But he's probably wondering what is holding this guy up. I mean, they don't stay around this long usually for the champion Lopez.
Well, Lopez is back in his favorite corner, and I must say he is really teeing off. This round is just organized mayhem here. He's just conducting himself like a fighting machine. And Ayala just got in a stiff left hand just then. Ayala can turn it around with a punch, but he has not been able to. He's landed some blockbusters, but he has not been able to. Lopez expressionless, motionless, machine-like, coming on. Ayala fighting out of desperation now. That's all he's got left is desperation. We're coming into the end of the round, and yet he backs himself up into the corner. He just can't get out of those corners. That's been the history of this fight. That corner and the other corner has cost him heavily.
This is round 14. Remember, since Lopez won the title in '76, that was the last time he went 15 rounds, and this certainly looks like the bell is going to answer. They're both going to answer the bell for the 15th round as we go into less than 20 seconds in 14th round with the action still hot and heavy, and the challenger still pressing on with being aggressive, and Lopez standing back, still jabbing, still punching, and that is it. The final seconds of round 14. Okay, here we go. Look at the crowd, and they are going to be on their feet because this is the 15th and final round for the Featherweight Championship of the World. Will it be the champion, Danny Lopez, on the left, or the challenger, the gutsy challenger, determined, tough little Mike Ayala from San Antonio, Texas, as Lopez continues to put the pressure on, standing in front of the challenger, but the challenger like that, fighting back, sticking the left, and then following to the right, bullying him almost around, knowing that perhaps Mike Ayala, if he is to win the first ever featherweight championship held in San Antonio, Texas, his hometown, he must put Danny Lopez on the canvas.
And right now, Danny is not lighting up. He is not just content to go to 15. He wants to knock Mike Ayala out.
Oh, a devastating right hand.
A devastating right hand.
Another one. And the challenger goes down from 2 successive devastating right hands. And 30, I don't think Padilla is going to have any controversy as we look at the champion that he is going to get up. No, it's over. It's over. So Danny Red Lopez has successfully defended his WBC Featherweight Championship, and that's his wife. She's happy, and so is all the fans in San Antonio. as we look at Mike Ayala and the champion being raised on the shoulders of his manager, Benny Giorgino. Let's go to the official announcement, the official time from Bill Merrill in the ring announcer.
9 seconds of the 15th round. Winner and still featherweight champion of the world.
Well, there you heard it. 1 minute 9 seconds of the final round, the 15th round being hoisted. Still the WBC champion, Danny Lopez.
Well, it took a little longer than usual for Danny Little Red Lopez, but in the end, he did what he usually did, and that is knock out his opponent. He stops Mike Ayala in the 15th to retain his featherweight championship.
Well, no Little Red Lopez fight is ever easy, and this one was no exception. He had trouble with Mike Ayala. Ayala boxed very well in this fight, but the final analysis, I think Mike Ayala just didn't have the power to hurt Danny Lopez, and Lopez is accustomed to taking punches and often even goes down, but you have to have a lot of finishing power to keep him down, and Ayala really didn't have that kind of power.
Very tough to frustrate a fighter like Danny Little Red Lopez. He kept coming in, and despite those flourishes that Ayala showed us where he charged in through that left hand, Lopez continued to bore in and drop in that right hand.
Well, as you said, you can't discourage Danny Lopez. He'll take those punches, but he'll always come back, and he's such a well-conditioned fighter, always was during his career, that he can do this over 15 rounds, and we saw he fought a terrific pace against Ayala.
There was another